I'd like to talk to you now about the Teaching the Second Language Learner portfolio. After viewing this clip, if you still have questions, please ask them in any class. The portfolio is the largest assignment in the course, and it's worth 35% of your grade. In this one assignment, I collect together various other assignments. You demonstrate your learning here through classwork and participation. And the portfolio begins with the 2 to 3 page report on your learning. What should you include in your portfolio? Well, the 2 to 3 page report on your learning that explains the rationale for the decisions that you've made in your portfolio, the things that you've included in your portfolio, that's required. Otherwise, what you put in your portfolio is up to you. So what could you include? You could include revised versions of assignments that you've handed in for assessment. You could include in-class activities that you've done. You could include written reflections on questions that were posted on Moodle, for example. You could include any homework that you've done. Really, you want to include stuff that reflects what you've learned, because you're going to be making a 2 to 3 page report arguing for the learning that you've done. So what's the point of this assignment? The portfolio assignment asks you to track your own learning, and I think that tracking your own learning is a good way to make sure that that learning is lasting and significant. It also makes you responsible for your own learning. The portfolio could be a useful resource to you in the future, particularly if you decide you want to make it a useful resource and include things that you want to have access to later, that you want to be able to review later. You'll be doing portfolios in other classes during your time in the profile, in the program here. And so, since I want you to succeed in those other classes, I thought I'd introduce you to a portfolio assignment early in your program. The 2 to 3 page report explains your rationale for the decisions you've made. I could look at your portfolio and think this is all lovely, but what does it mean? What does it tell me about this particular student and what he or she has learned during this course? So this 2 to 3 page report explains what you've included in your portfolio and why you've included it. Most of the portfolio acts as evidence of your learning, but the 2 to 3 page report explains how it is evidence for your learning. And you could focus this report around an argument or a thesis statement about your learning. You could, for example, say, during this semester, I've learned more about how to be creative as a teacher. You could point out that creativity, using creativity is a cross-curricular competency. You could look at the professional competencies in the course outline and reference them in your argument. There's lots of different things that you could be making as an argument about your learning. You could say that you've learned how to address a diversity of learners in the portfolio, or during this course, and that you're going to provide evidence of that in the portfolio. There are lots of different arguments you could be making. Do I have to include revised work? No. What you put in the portfolio is up to you. You should include revised work if you've revised an assignment and that revision aided in your learning. You could include revised work if you were really unhappy with the grade you got on an assignment and you're hoping that through this revision you'll be able to improve that grade. It would be made up in the portfolio, I wouldn't go back and change the mark of that assignment, but I might increase your mark in the portfolio to reflect that. Do you have to include the 2 to 3 page report? Yes. What you put in the portfolio is not entirely up to you. What if you didn't learn anything during this course? That's kind of your problem. I think that's all. No, one more thing. How will this be assessed? Some things that I might use as criteria when assessing your portfolio, some descriptors that I could use if I were creating a rubric might be the portfolio provides evidence of active participation in the course. So I could change that for the portfolio provides lots of evidence for a very good portfolio, or the portfolio provides a little evidence for one that wasn't so good. The portfolio provides evidence of learning. The rationale explains and clarifies how the portfolio provides evidence of your learning. The rationale is clearly linked to the evidence in the portfolio. The portfolio is organized and structured in such a way that makes it easy to assess and to understand. So these are things that I might use as descriptors in assessing your portfolio.